Hey, welcome back guys, and today we have another should you pull video for you guys today talking about Violet, whose banner is currently running, as well as his artifact Violet Talisman. Now if you guys are wondering about Ocean Breeze Luca and if she's worth pulling for, check out my should you pull video on her. We're not going to be talking about her in this video, but just in general guys, because she is a limited unit and because she is pretty strong in PvP, I highly recommend pulling for her and also for her artifact. Violet is a pretty strong unit for both PvP and PvE because of his self-sustain with his S2 healing and dispel, and also because he has built-in evasion. Let's actually talk about his skills very quickly in case you don't know fully what he does. So his S3 is a single target attack, and you'll notice that he uses a focus system. His S3 will use all of his focus, and when you actually have 5 focus, you will actually reset the cooldown of your S3, and if you have less than 5 focus, your damage will go down depending on how much focus you actually use. Also, when his S3 is off of cooldown, he will get 35% evasion, and after he evades, he will counterattack with his S1. So basically the way you want to use his S3 guys is 99.9% of the time, you're only going to want to use his S3 when it is at 5 focus. That way, you will keep your evasion buff, and also you'll do maximum damage. His S2 guys, it is going to be a dispel and also heal for himself, and will also give him perception. Perception is an undispellable buff that will give him 15% crit chance and crit damage, and he'll also grant himself an extra turn. This skill will give you 3 focus, so it is primarily going to be used right before you use your S3 once you get 5 focus up because of that extra damage. But you can also hold on to this if you need the cleanse for a crucial debuff that the enemy team has. His S1 guys, single target attack that will also decrease attack, and also when it is not his own turn, he will increase combat readiness when he uses this and gain double the amount of focus. So basically whenever he counterattacks or dual attacks, he's going to be getting a CR push and also will gain 2 focus instead of 1. Violet really relies on his evasion guys, and if you pair him with an evasion artifact, you can get like 55% evasion up to 65% if you use him on his own, which makes him super annoying because he's constantly counterattacking every time he evades, making him a very good option to solo the enemy team and very good into cleave and aggressive teams as well. This unit guys, I don't really recommend pulling for him because we're in the middle of a period where we have 2 limiteds, right? We have Ocean Breeze Luca right now. We're also going to get another limited in about a week, and there are rumors that the Full Metal Alchemist collab is going to be released again in the fall, so probably not a good time to spend your bookmarks on Violet, but he is a very powerful unit. I think he is very good for Guild Wars, especially on offense as an ice bait, and he's very good, like I said, at shutting down cleave. Just keep in mind that there are going to be a lot of answers to him, namely things with hit chance like Zahak, Briar with Asaria. Any hit chance artifact can deal with him pretty well. Milim is very good against him as well, so you have to be careful when picking him, but as a counter pick, he can sometimes be a must ban in World Arena, and in Guild Wars offense and defense, he can be very good as well because of the built-in RNG, and he can really frustrate players. For PvE guys, he's very good for Banshee as a single target DPS. He's also very good in KDs, Automaton Tower, he's good in Ancient Inheritance, he's also good in some Abyss Floors. A lot of areas of content you can bring him in. He can tank as your frontliner even though he's a thief because of the fact that he is very tanky with his built-in evasion. Usually I would recommend pulling for him, but because we have kind of like a bookmark shortage right now, you kind of want to skip and pray that you can save enough for the limiteds coming out. Also, he is available from the story summon later on, so if you actually want to pull for him, you can wait till a better time and you have bookmarks to spare and pull for him and his artifact from the story summon. Now for his artifact guys, Violet Talisman. This artifact is an evasion and attack artifact, except that it will start at 10% and scale up to 30% at max limit break every turn. Now this might be better on paper than like Moonlight Dreamblade, because if we look here, Moonlight Dreamblade, which is probably the most common artifact on Violet and a lot of evasion artifacts, is going to give you a flat 20% instead. And basically Violet is like evade or die. So you probably are wondering, why wouldn't you get this one that gives you 30%? Even at plus 15, it gives you 7.5% per stack, which will be higher than 20%, I think at 22.5%, right? At the max stacks. Well, the thing is, this artifact takes time to ramp up, and usually evasion units are very squishy, like Remnant Violet or just other thieves in general. And second, you actually want, the highest evasion possible at the start of battle, because that's when most people are going to be ripping their attack buffed S3s and their S2s, right? So I think this artifact is not really worth purchasing, but if you do happen to get 5 copies of this, or 6 copies rather, with a maximum break Violet Talisman, you can use this on like Violet himself or like Remnant Violet, but personally I would try to stay away from this artifact and definitely not spend my powder on this artifact. So that's pretty much it for this banner though guys. I just think you should skip both because the artifact's not that great unless you have it maxed, and Violet himself, although a great hero, I think you'll be better off saving your bookmarks, because we we do have another limited after Ocean Breeze Lilica, and possibly a collab coming out as well. If you guys are wondering how to build your Violet, you guys can check out my build here. Mine's not the best, but I do use him sometimes as a counter to Cleave and also to Summertime Assaria. Now, if you're wondering why my Violet looks a little different, it's because I do have the skin which ran in the Spring Pass. So if you guys don't have the skin, you'll be able to buy it from the store pretty shortly if it's not already there. I'm pretty sure it's already there, but the skin looks pretty sick. And basically, you can build him two ways, right? So you can build him on Lifesteal set, which you actually need to do, with Immunity set or Pen set. Now, Immunity set is going to be better against Summertime Assaria Cleave and just Cleave in general, because you can keep that immunity buff after you evade. And Penetration set is just better in every other scenario. Now, I personally just use him as a Summertime Assaria counter and also Cleave counter, so I do have him on this immunity set, but you can run him on a Pen set and he should be good to go. Like I said earlier, his best artifact is going to be that Moonlight Dreamblade. You are definitely going to want this on him because it gives him 20% evasion, and when he dodges, he'll actually get attack buff for himself, which is very nice because the attack buff will proc before he attacks and counters, and he also doesn't have an attack buff in his kit, which is going to just give him that free attack buff. Now for his stats, guys, you want him to be pretty bulky. For speed, I would recommend aiming for 160. Mine is a little lower because I do have him on more HP and more crit damage. For attack and crit damage, guys, I think anything around 3k attack is fine. Anything above 250% crit damage is fine. And for critical hit chance, you can go to 85% because of the fact that you're getting 15% from his perception. Some people like that 100% though if you're running him into Cleave. I personally don't care enough to put him on 100% crit chance because I don't use him as frequently as I did before. So I do have him at that 90. And for bulk, guys, I think anything above 15k HP is fine. In defense, you do want to shoot for 1k, but you can sacrifice some of that defense for extra HP as well, because everyone and their moms is running Pen set nowadays, so having higher defense, lower HP isn't better than having higher HP and lower defense, if that makes sense. But that's pretty much it for this video though, guys. Hope this video helped you guys out, and I hope you guys are having a great summer, and I'll see you guys next video.